welcome to the grid. You're just thinking about winning a race.
It's going to be two Mercedes going wheel to wheel into turn one.
Brilliant wheel-to-wheel action, definitely game on.
Your finest moment in the race.
What a great race we've got in progress. Well, hello and welcome to day 2 of the second test in Barcelona. Buenos dias, as they say, just after lunchtime, where it is just after lunchtime, here in the Force India beautifully canopied motorhome for testing, where, well, with 10 cars out on the track, we thought we'd take a few moments to have a little chat and a bit of a technical chat as well, and answer some of your questions on the new cars and how they look and what's going on and where the philosophy comes from and where the pecking order might be with our expert of the day. This is Andrew Green. He is the technical director of Force India, and he should be on the pit wall, I suppose.
I should be, Crofty, but you've dragged me down here to answer some questions.
Is it kind of a welcome relief to be away from the garage for a while?
Currently, yes. Yeah, it's, Sergio's doing his long runs, so I'm just happy to for him to do that work, and I'll sit in here and chat with you.
Is the idea then that Sergio will do like a race distance this afternoon?
Yeah, so we looked at some setup work this morning, and then this afternoon we've taken those tyres and we'll fill the car up with fuel and do a bit of a long run, see how the tyres work out, and just get some miles on the car, because we just want to make sure we're reliable for Melbourne.
Because that's not what happened first week. You didn't get enough miles on the car, is that right?
No, we kept adding miles until something went wrong or something failed on the car, and we fixed it. We kept going. This week we think we've solved all those problems, and we're just trying to get miles on, making sure that we find the next showstopper, as we call it, before we get to Melbourne.
Day 2 of the second test, is that the day where you think, right, we're either on the right track here or we're on the wrong track and we need to either panic or find some solutions pretty quickly?
We don't panic. We're still trying to find that track that you're talking about. We're still testing various options on the car, looking to see which direction we need to go in, and we will apply those on days 3 and 4.
Right.
Days 3 and 4 is when we're going to start, hopefully, turn the wick up a little bit and see what it can do.
And that gives you either a nice flight down to Melbourne or a lot of anxiety at 36,000 feet?
Yes, there's only so much we can do between now and Melbourne. And what we've been trying to do for the last 6 days is gather all the information we can about this car, trying to understand it, and then apply all that over the next tonight and the next couple of days, and make sure that we hit Melbourne with the car at its sweet spot. That's the best we can do at this moment in time. As long as we're getting the best of what we've got in Melbourne, that's what we do.
Okay. Right, we've got loads and loads of questions. Let's start off with Freddie Coates. Hello, Freddie. He says, do you really want to sandbag until qualifying in Australia, or is it because everyone else does? I mean, we're assuming you're sandbagging, but you might not be. I don't know.
We're not deliberately trying to make the car go slow. We are trying to learn everything we can about the car in a condition that it runs in most of its life. So it's not running the car with all the fuel in it, and it's not running the car in qualifying. In qualifying, we only do 3-4 laps in qualifying mode, in qualifying trim. That's not representative of a Sunday. And for us, Sunday is what we're here to do. We're here to go racing, and we want the fastest possible car on a Sunday afternoon, not necessarily the fastest possible car on a Saturday afternoon. Ideally, we'd like both, but we focus our attention sort of somewhere in the middle, so that we know that on the Sunday afternoon when we fill the car up with fuel, we're not that far away from where we were, and we're on the Saturday afternoon when we take all the fuel out, we're still not that far away. So we're somewhere in the middle. We're not actually sandbagging, we're just trying to develop the car in an area that we think's representative.
I suppose it's like going to the golf driving range and just getting your driver out and trying to hit the ball 300 yards. You're only going to do that 18 times in any given round of golf.
Exactly, similar sort of scenario. Yeah.
Excellent. I understand this now. Tyres. Let's talk tyres, yeah? We've got some sweets here. because it's just gone lunchtime and I want some sweets. Well, we'll take this tyre. Look, nice and squidgy and soft.
So it's not a hard tyre.
No. No, totally unrepresentative, so I'm told, of what Pirelli have got this year.
We've got at the moment, yes.
Yeah, Martin Chant says, will the tyres last longer this season? They'll probably last longer than this, which is going in my mouth now.
Currently, the answer to that is yes. They appear to be lasting a lot longer than they did last year. We're looking at a soft tyre now that can just about do a race distance around Barcelona in winter testing, which is sort of unheard of. Normally winter testing in Barcelona is pretty tough on tyres. It's a tough track anyway. In winter it's even tougher. So for us to be able to shot it with a set of soft tyres and do a race distance would mean we're sort of moving ahead to the races ahead of us. We'd say, yeah, we're going to be doing one stop.
But that's not what people want. I mean, I've just demolished this suite in about 5 seconds. That's what people want for the tyres, surely.
Well, that's not what we've got at the moment. So
how does it change? Is that going to change?
See, this is a sample of one. Obviously, we do need to get into some representative temperatures and some different tracks. Let's see how it pans out over the first few races. I'm sure it's going to get tweaked. I'm sure, hope it's going to get tweaked, because from where we are now, I'm seeing some quite dull races.
Well, we don't want to say dull races. That's 2 words we don't want to hear. Can't tweak it before. I mean, is it Montreal this week? You pick your tyres for Montreal, don't you?
Yeah, this week we're already picking tyres for the middle of the season, so we're going to have to start. It'll need some sort of unanimous agreement, I think, between teams, or some top-level decision that they've over-egged the tyres slightly. We'll wait and see. It is early days, but around here at the moment we are looking quite conservative.
Right. This is the Force India car. We've tried to replicate it as best we can and put Andrew and his design team out of a job. We've got the little step nose. So Sean Hackett wants to know, in terms of your nose, why are Force India the only team with this style of longer thumb nose and a small step at the chassis? We've tried to put the step in, but the suite just kept springing back again.
Well, starting at the front then, so the thumb nose, as he's calling it, it's not. It looks like a thumb. It's actually part of a duct. It's 2 ducts that run around the front of the nose. It's just painted to look like it's a bit of a thumb. It's a similar sort of concept that we ran last year with a ducted nose. So we've just carried that on with the new regulations, and the chassis at the front of the chassis is just as high as possible, because for aerodynamic reasons and for trying to get the suspension as high as possible to get the stiffness up. And that's unfortunately the way the regulations are written. We couldn't actually marry the two together in a style that is a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. The regulations stop us from doing that, unfortunately. So it ends up with a little bit of a step there.
Talking of aesthetically pleasing, I've just bit into another suite, because I want a proper shark fin on there. Stay. Now, that looks horrible, doesn't it, that shark fin like that?
Oh, I'm not with you on that one.
You like the shark fin? He likes my shark fin.
From a technical perspective, we like the shark fin. It does something to the car that we like aerodynamically, helps protect the rear wing. We like that. That's the only reason we put it on there. We don't look at it and go, oh dear, that doesn't look very nice, we better take it off. And the guy said, well, you're just taking performance off the car. We just don't do that. But if everyone decided they wanted to take it off, fine. It's of no consequence.
You put it on for performance, but if you took it off, then it makes the cars harder to drive through the corners, yeah?
It makes them slower, Crofty.
Slower?
Slower, yes.
But
slower is not something we want to be trying to do.
No, I know, but sometimes slow is actually quite good. Look at Brazil last year, it was fine. But some drivers might be able to go faster than the slower, because they might be able to handle it with the yaw that's yawing about, if I can get too technical here. So take them off and make it harder for the drivers, and we might get a better spectacle. Is that a fair thing to say?
Take it off for all the drivers. Yeah. It will reduce the downforce on the car in the middle of the corner, as you just alluded to during the yaw condition. And it will make it slightly harder to drive. That'll be a fact. Same for everybody.
Dennis Seizing wanted to know about shark fins. Look, they're there from a technical point of view. Andy Elsener, let's put this on the front here. Right, that's the halo. It's not a steering wheel, it's the halo. No, see, look, say halo, say goodbye, really, on that one. Has it been put to rest?
No.
Is it coming back then?
There is. I believe there is going to be some sort of protection for 2018. I don't think it's going to look like what we've seen with the Halo. I think it's going to be an alternative solution, a little bit biased towards the smaller objects, protecting the driver from smaller objects rather than trying to protect the driver from a wheel and a tyre. So I think we are going to see something. It's not going to be the Halo. I think it's going to be another, and you just got to watch this space or the FIA space to find out what we're going to do.
Right, back to this year's car. The shark fin's fallen off. We've kind of got a car slightly intact. Where are your main areas of development for this year? Where can you find performance? And please use the medium of sweets to demonstrate this.
Interestingly, the medium of sweets is missing the bit that, that we would apply most of our...
Well, here's the bowl. You go ahead.
Development too. So it's all up for grabs, really. But what we have to realise is we can't develop everything at the same time. We are limited in what we can do, not just because of the size of the team, but because of the way the regulations cap us from a development perspective, the amount of time we can spend in the wind tunnel versus the amount of time we can spend in CFD. So we have to choose our battles carefully when it comes to developing the car at this time of year when the development of the car is so strong, because the car is effectively quite under-refined, and so we're a long way from its optimum. And the areas that we pick need to give us good value for money, good bang for buck, I think is what everyone keeps talking about. So the areas that we're going to look at are going to be the areas either side of the side pod, just in front of the front wheels. We think that's quite a strong area, all these barge boards that people talk about, or Gary Anderson started the barge boards back in 1990.
And is that widening things out, or is that making things neat and compact and tight?
It can be either. It's effectively trying to work the air that's coming off the front wing and around the front tyres and directing it to the back of the car. That, for us, is a very strong area of development from a performance perspective and from a perspective of getting it to the car in a timely fashion. It's not, although they may look like complicated devices, and some of them actually quite are complicated devices, they're inherently relatively simple to manufacture and get to the car. So it's an area that we will be spending a lot of time working on. Other areas that might take a little bit longer, say like your front wing here, is, even though it is the most important part of the car as far as aerodynamics is concerned, because it sets up everything, every sweep behind that front wing is being affected by that front wing. So that's a key area for us. But it's an area that takes a long time to develop and a long time to get to the car. So although we are developing in that area, we won't see many big changes to that area through the season. We might see a couple of big changes, but not as many as we'll see to the area directly behind it.
So something for Barcelona and then maybe something for Silverstone after that.
Exactly that. Rear wings, a lot of changes on the rear wings. I can see that happening during the year. We're not at max downforce every race anymore. We're definitely a long way from that. So we've got different downforce levels at different tracks, and I can see rear wing being a big area of development because it's a lot lower now compared to last year. It's a lot closer to the diffuser just behind it. So the interaction between the two is quite heavily linked now. So we'll be looking at that area in particular in the future for potential gains.
And with rear wings in mind, Simon Bingham says, will DRS be more effective this year? I'm kind of assuming it will because there's more drag.
There's more drag on the car.
Yeah.
The DRS itself, from our simulations, is approximately the same as last year. So we're going to wait and see. I think it's going to be close. Whether we have to modify the DRS zones for these cars, I think the FIA have been doing measurements here. I don't think there's going to be that much difference, to be honest.
And the T-wing, what does the T-wing actually do? I'm trying to find our tweeter that's put it down. Murray Ross. Yeah. Sorry, Murray. What does it do for aero?
It complicates things. That's what it does. It's a little slither, and it is just a slither in the regulation that I don't think anyone really thought that we'd end up using it. And we did discuss at the time, and perhaps we should have been a bit more forthright in getting rid of it. But it was a slither of regulation box that opened up when we changed all the dimensions of the rear wing and the rear wheel centre lines. So it's a small slither. you can effectively put a little bit of rear wing there, and it works a little bit better than the rear wing that's behind it. But because everything's about little changes and it's all the addition of small increments of small changes, we're taking it. I think you'll see it up and down the pit lane by the time we get to Melbourne.
You think it will go?
No.
Oh, it will stay?
It's going to stay, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks ugly.
We can do without that, I think, yeah.
You can't sugarcoat that, no matter how many sweets we use on this one. 2 more questions. Matthew Davis says he wants a job at Force India. Whether that's in the design and build team or whether that's in marketing, I don't know. He just wants a job. Have you got any jobs going?
You need to look at our website. Right. Yeah.
Go on the website and apply.
ForceIndiaF1.com.
Do you get lots and lots of applications throughout the year? Is Formula One still a career people want?
Lots and lots, and it's an area that we focus on. We pay a lot of attention to our recruitment. It's the person fitting into our team, and we are a real team here, is really important to us, and the character for us is so important. So one-to-one interviews are vital for us, whether they've got first from Cambridge or straight from A-level, O-levels. It doesn't really matter. The person is what counts for us. We want to see that passion. We are a real passionate racing team. We like to go racing. We love our racing, and we love beating people who we shouldn't. And we want to see that fire in the belly of the people that we interview. So it's not about just being the smartest person that gets the prize that we interview. It's something else. It's that intangible gut feeling that you get from someone. So.
First you don't succeed, try and try again. And Ryan Eckford, who on behalf of everybody watching testing throughout the world, says, who do you think's got the quickest car? It was day 2, we're halfway through it. If you were to put your rather large bonus for coming 4th in the championship last year on any team at the moment, who's got the quickest car?
That's a really good question.
So it's obviously not Force India just at this moment.
We're pretty convinced it's not us. From the analysis we do, it's really difficult until someone for us does a really long run on the heavy fuel. Then that's when they really are showing their hand, and there's not many teams have done that so far. But I would say the top 3 teams are probably still the top 3 teams. I still think if you've got the Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari are still top 3. Who's on top of that pack there? My money's still going to go on Mercedes. I still think they've got an incredibly strong car. But I think the guys behind them are a lot closer.
That's you, Williams, Renault, Haas, Toro Rosso?
Yeah, I think we're all going to be nibbling at the heels for sure. I think it's going to be quite a close start to the season, and we'll see how it goes.
Not dull racing at all.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just talking about the tyres. Overtakes are going to be well worth it.
Really?
They're going to be well earned. I think an overtake this year. I think the cars are looking very strong as far as tyre degradation is concerned. So you can't wait for the guy in front or for you to get a tyre advantage anymore. You're going to have to attack him. And I think we're going to see a lot of attacking. It's the only way to get in front.
It's a good job the FIA have relaxed kind of the possible penalties for drivers then. That's maybe what we need.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what we need. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Listen, I've thoroughly enjoyed this chat. Feel free to stay and eat some sweets, or maybe you've got a bit of work to do this afternoon, I don't know.
I think I might have something to do, yeah.
Well, hopefully you're still smiling at the end of it. Andy, thanks ever so much. It's been brilliant. Keep your questions coming in. Tomorrow, Romain Grosjean is going to be joining us. Lance Stroll will be joining us as well, and Daniel Ricciardo on Friday. We're going to take a little wander up and down the pit lane and the paddock, see who did have a very good day on day 2. So join us in a few moments, and I think I'll finish off demolishing the front wing. And as if by magic, somebody turned out all the lights. Welcome back to the second part of Ask Crofty, where we're here in the paddock in Barcelona at the circuit. Most of the fans have gone home. The night shifts are, about 2 hours into their duties, and the fallout from Fernando Alonso's press conference after testing today continues to rage on. So here was I going to tell you that McLaren had quite a productive day today. They were doing lots of short runs and long setup changes. They didn't do many laps. They had no power unit issues, which is a bonus, I suppose. And they had a few kind of minor problems. They had to change the floor, and they had a little issue with the energy store as well, and they had a bit of a leak. But all in all, it was quite a productive day. Then came Fernando Alonso's press conference, and I think with the backing of McLaren, this is not Fernando Alonso going lone wolf here, he has put the problems that the team are facing firmly at Honda's feet. The engine, he says, is just not good enough. They're 30 kilometres an hour down on the straights. He's basically saying we're a team that's got all the equipment to go out and challenge except a decent engine. No power, no reliability, he said. We're 30 kilometres down on every straight. Someone asked him, are the corners flat here? He said, for us, nearly all the corners are flat. He was joking at the time, but I think the message behind it was quite a serious one. The issue they had with the oil tank, Fernando described as amateur, something that shouldn't be happening at winter testing. Alonso has come out fighting, and has come out fighting tonight very much on McLaren's side. Now, Honda aren't saying anything at the moment. Maybe we'll get something from them in the next couple of days. But it's quite clear, Eric Boulier yesterday, Fernando Alonso today, that McLaren are basically, well, they're blaming Honda for everything that the team are facing. And those 2015 problems are resurfacing once again. This could be a big story this season. Is Fernando Alonso going to walk away? No, he wants to stay and he wants to fight. I'm one of the best drivers out there, he says, but I'm not being given the equipment to do it. Interesting stuff. I hope you liked the chat with Andrew Green a little early on. Just to back up what he was saying about tyres, Lewis Hamilton today did 20 laps on the ultra-soft tyre. 20 laps on the ultra-soft tyre. No wonder the soft tyre can do a full race distance. Hamilton wasn't the fastest today. His teammate Valtteri Bottas was a 1:19.310, the fastest time of winter testing so far. And he did 70 laps, 79 laps for Hamilton. Got a little chat with someone at Mercedes who said, you know what, it could be really, really close this year. Not quite sure of the pecking order just yet, but Ferrari, Red Bull and Mercedes, I think we're all pretty close together. Could be very exciting indeed. As for Red Bull, Max Verstappen had an MG UK issue not once, but twice. And the second time round, it caused a red flag. And that's what curtailed his day rather early. Not as early as Kimi Räikkönen, who's somewhere in that Ferrari motorhome at the moment. He had a big off at turn 3. Nothing wrong with the car, at least until it hit the barrier. And a bit of suspension damage there. But Ferrari saying we're actually quite happy with the way things are going. We're more relieved than we were this time last year. That's all Ferrari is saying. There's not much more coming from Maranello or from behind these rather dark windows. As for Haas, good day for them today. An exhaust change, though, that kept them in the garage for a couple of hours. Renault had a few issues that kept them in the garage for this afternoon. But the big story is all about McLaren. It was on day 1 of this second test. It is on day 2 as well. What will happen on day 3? Who knows? Stoffel Van Dorn's in the car, so there might be a little less said, but I think it would be good to hear from Honda themselves and from Hasegawa-san, the man in charge of the Honda engine program, because it's a relationship, shall we just say, is not so much teetering on the brink as hurtling towards the rocks at the moment. And it shows no signs of getting any better. We'll be back tomorrow with Lance Stroll, who had a really productive afternoon today. Still hasn't done a race distance, but he got a lot of laps in. And it was his teammate, Felipe Massa, who broke one of the parts on the Williams today. It was one of the aero rakes. He'll be answering your questions on hashtag Ask Crofty, as will Romain Grosjean as well. So get tweeting in now. What do you want to hear from the drivers? What do you want to know? We've got 2 more days of testing left from us all in Barcelona tonight, though. Good night.
Enjoy Sky Sports F1 Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.